looking like he was about to burst into tears from sheer pre-confrontation panic.
'Cause you's a bitch.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead, I dare ya to look it up. I got a little musical in my heart because today we've got a musical courtesy of Steven Sondheim and user Zucka101. It can be found in r/TalesofNeckbeards. It is the tale of Burgerbeard, but not just any post. You know, we got a musical intro and all this stuff, and I'm just totally stoked to get into it. You can see the effort that went into it, and Zucka is over the moon, apparently, according to his posts about my channel, so I would be doing quite a disservice to not reciprocate his efforts and at least try to bring you the tale of Burgerbeard in a proper and delicious and probably slightly greasy format. So without any further ado, I'm probably not going to put any music behind it because it'll get copyrighted, but I will sing you the tale of Burgerbeard, the musical intro. So let's do it before I lose my nerve. Attend the tale of Burgerbeard. His frame was fat and his tastes were weird. He cheated in every game he played, yet somehow he managed to never get laid. His failures, they were always cheered. This Burgerbeard, the cheating gamer of Zuck's group. It's so perfect. He fancied that he was ever bold, with custom dice that he never rolled. So what if nobody saw the result? If ever called out, he resorts to insult. This Burgerbeard, the cheating gamer of Zuck's group. Grab your dice up fast, Burger, fill the air with lies. Freely rains the greasy stains of cheesy fries. His skills were few and his gear was chic. Ooh, a waifu pillow, what a fancy geek. A velvet bag to hold his dice, a room that held his tiny pet mice. For hygiene he is at least cleared. This Burgerbeard, the cheating gamer of Zuck's group. Inconsiderate Burger was, mean and cruel, unkind he was, using computer derived from the cloud. Burger played music unbearably loud. Burger planned and Burger schemed, like an angry incel he schemed. Burger was quick, Burger had ruses, call him out and he sputter excuses. Burger, 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 Burger. Yeah, that's a climax, all right. Here we go, finale. All right, tend the tale of Burgerbeard. His hands were clean, but his soul was smeared. What happens next will follow my posts, for I wouldn't want you to miss all the roasts of Burgerbeard, the cheating gamer of Zuck's group. Oh, God. That's too good, dude. The effort that it must have taken. And honestly, it's just, yeah, it goes right along with the music. Everything's perfect. I couldn't not read the stories after this, if you want me to be quite honest. I will repay your effort with some efforts of my own, because that's how we do it around here. Thank you so much, dude. That is like, can you do these like every week? I totally want just Neckbeard parodies out the yin yang. I think that would be the best thing ever. But all right. Now that our musical interlude is out of the way, I guess we can jump into the first Burgerbeard tale. And what a great way to start it off. So let's rock and roll. Burgerbeard's Misadventures in the Game Group, Part 1. The 15-minute Rage Quit. Edit. Any readers of the YouTube persuasion who wish to read these tales, you have my eager blessing and permission. Eager blessing, he says. Dang. If you guys get laughs out of it, by all means, read away. Just let me know if you do, because I'd love to listen. And I will reply to this post once the video is up. Hear ye, hear ye! I've been watching lots of ReddX. Seriously, one of the best Reddit readers out there. For realsies. It's scientifically proven. Google it. Oh, God. You're building me up a little too much, bro. People are going to come to my channel and be like, that's it? The description just might be better than the reality, but I thank you regardless. And I was listening to ReddX regale us about this ghoulish parade of hat-tipping, Cheeto-gorging, beladying crimes against humanity, and that stirred up memories for me. Dark memories. I come forth to submit for the approval of the Redditors this tale of an unusual specimen of Neckbeardicus harumphus of the order Condescendicus. Now that's real science, boy. 15 years ago, I was still in one of our nation's fine institutions of higher learning, and I sought out friends interested in tabletop role-playing games as something to do on the side while throwing the money I'd earned in 4-H into a big bonfire called college. I mean, I was pursuing a degree in ancient history. After the fantastic intro you gave me, I refused to rip on your ancient history degree. I hope you are following your passion. That's what I'll say. I got introduced to a large group of gamers, and we got along famously. Each of them as nutty as me, and most of us are friends to this very day. Dramatis personae. For the layman's, that means the cast. We've got Burgerbeard, the star of these chronicles, so named because he shares a first name with two other guys, and we came up with job-related prefixes to differentiate them. Burgerbeard works at a cheeseburger stand in the kitchen. Unlike many neckbeards, Burgerbeard showers regularly, has an aroma no more offensive than your average 20-something of questionable body mass index, and shaved around his goatee, most of the time. He enjoys a full head of hair that's high enough in volume and length that he ponytails it. Nay, dear reader, this neckbird's foulness is a sickness of spirit. And that's where it really counts. Every time he opens his mouth, he speaks with nods, slowly enunciating, as if he's talking to the mentally handicapped. Just all the damn time. Condescension oozes from his every pore. Imagine if Bill Lumbergh from Office Space had a greasy little baby with Burke from Aliens, and you'll get some idea as to how this man-child conducts his speech. If you could play tabletop RPGs with me, that would be great. We're gonna need you to come roll a paladin on Saturday. Yeah. We've got Zucka, OP, Master of Ceremonies, and the guy who hosted most of these games because my family's house was nice and big. Bystander for most of these chronicles. Badastovich, the lanky ladies' man with more rage than his body knew what to do with. He takes no crap from anyone, and in spite of putting on the trappings of dickhood, he is a true pal. Prefers spellcasters in D&D Pathfinder, tech priests in Warhammer 40k, and is a proper spotlight addict. Wrangler, so named because of his job, which has remained unchanged for years. His job chiefly involves corralling wild shopping carts out in the parking plains and taking them on back home. He's awkward, anxious, and shares a first name with Burgerbeard to his deep and unmitigated displeasure. Radio. He's a radio operator in the army. He takes even less bullshit than Badastovich. True bro, not present for most of these chronicles though. Dragon. Nicest man in the universe. Japanese descended gamer nerd. Works at home improvement store and has 2 sons. Always makes support characters in the games that we play. Ninetails, so named because of her kitsune fixation. Weeaboo of the first degree. And also missing half of her teeth. Dragon's wife and resident gamer mama. Slumsy, former best buddy, who later had himself one moment of horrible neckbeardism that damn near overshadowed everything that Burgerbeard ever did, but at the same time, a true bro and live-in assistant to Dragon and Ninetails. Turtle, international man of action. Sarcasm self-check complete. He's a neckbeard of the greasiest subgenus, sarcastically referred to as the International Man of Action because he will waddle to my big easy chair, nest in it, and just fall asleep, waking only to roll the dice and mumble responses to questions. So named because he looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trying to cosplay Dwight Schrute from The Office. Oh, that's far too accurate. What a picture is painted.
I am fast. To give you a reference point, I'm somewhere between a snake and a mongoose. And a panther.
His head is stooped forward, his belly juts out, his chest is sunken, and he has a mop of greasy black hair on his trapezoid-shaped head. Like someone tried to paint the top of an egg with squiggly black Sharpie lines. His neckbeardism shall be chronicled later. He's Burgerbeard's BFF and totally worshipped the ground that Burgerbeard walked on. It was long speculated that he and Burgerbeard were an item, but further observation revealed it was less they were lovers and more of like a master and beloved pet kind of situation. And no, not sexually. Not that we judge. I mean to say that Turtle acts like Burgerbeard's watchdog. We also got Jitters, decent dude, terrible hygiene, the worst game master to ever live. He shivers at all times like a neurotic chihuahua. He never lived down putting a big red button in a game that he ran that didn't move the plot along, but TPK'd us. I mean, you gotta push the big red button. What did he expect? Curiosity always kills the cat. Bluto, perpetual special guest star, always a listener, never a player. Neckbeard extraordinaire, the toilet slayer. He who melts in direct sunlight. He had a sense of humor as foul as his BO. Ogre, the other guy who hosts all the games. Big as a whale, generous as a jolly leprechaun, kept a clean house and runs a tight character when gaming. And so, with the cast out of the way, we have The Stage. My family's former forever home was a beautiful Spanish mission-style ranch home on the farm that I grew up on. The dining room contained a gigantic wooden table, which is where I hosted games whenever it was my turn. A huge set of windows looked out to miles of farmlands and the mountains beyond, and when you stepped outside with so few lights, you could see the stars with so much clarity. Well, that sounds awesome. Why is it a former forever home? You guys should have stayed there. Bruh. Now I'm a little sad. But regardless, the troupe is ready and the stage is set. Tale the first, the 15-minute rage quit. My house had all hands present, and the game was BESM, Big Eyes, Small Mouth, an anime RPG based loosely on GURPS, which is generic universal role-playing system, that Badasstovich was running, based on the graphic novel Gold Digger. I was sitting near Badasstovich, and the huge table at my place accommodated everyone with ease. Badasstovich prefers to sit at the head of the table when he's running the game, and Burgerbeard prefers to sit at the other end so he can roll the dice far away from Badasstovich's watchful eyes. The particulars are lost to time, but Badasstovich became cheesed with Burgerbeard's seemingly supernatural luck, rolling max damage and perfect hits. "I think you're full of shit, Burger," Badasstovich sneered after Burgerbeard rolled his 5th natural 20 of the night. Burgerbeard smiled like the cat who got the cream. "I'm using my good dice," he smugly informed us. "Come on, Burgerbeard, at least let us see what you roll," Ninetails complained. "That's fair, yeah, just let us verify," Dragon cheerfully said. Jitters adjusted his glasses and looked anxiously between Burgerbeard and Badasstovich, looking like he was about to burst into tears from sheer pre-confrontation panic. And Wrangler grabs his head in typical dramatic fashion, gritting his teeth. Burgerbeard scowls but rolls for damage, dropping 3 8-sided dice and swiping them up before Ninetails, who was sitting near him, could actually see. "Hey, I saw 2 1s, Ninetail piped up. Those were 7s. Burgerbeard exclaims, eyes wide. "Hold up, bro. 3d8s? Dragon exclaims. "You're using your bare fists." "Well, yeah. I'm a brawler. My strength modifier is +3,
so I get to roll 3 8-sided.
Burgerbeard said in his trademarked
I'm smarter than you.
condescension. That is so not how this works, Slumsy bellowed, looking disgusted. What the hell is wrong with you? Burgerbeard scowled.
I didn't cheat. You're saying I'm cheating.
Look, just roll 1 6-sided, dude. I cut in. The rules say that unless you've got the requisite talent, you can't do it.
I've totally got the talent.
Burgerbeard bellows, maintaining eye contact while his hand sneakily writes on his character sheet. Hey, Zaka, pass me his character sheet, Bedastovich scowls. I glance at Burgerbeard and give a sheepish grin, rubbing my forefinger, middle finger, and thumb. Well, you heard the man, I say. Burgerbeard looks back and forth between me and Bedastovich and gives a dramatic flourish of his hands.
If you don't trust me, then I'm leaving,
he exclaims, and then begins to turn off his laptop. His laptop, which at the time was so old that it requires a plug-in Wi-Fi antenna, was so frail that it could not just be abruptly turned off. In other words, he couldn't just slam it shut and make a proper angry exit. He sat there, fuming, for 15 minutes. Hell of an exit. While his clunker of a laptop shut down, he sat there, arms crossed, ducking his head behind the screen.
Maybe they'll just forget that I'm here.
Bluto, with his impatience showing, shattered the awkward silence with all the grace of an inebriated hippopotamus on ice. Keep playing the frickin' game, dude! Badastovich cleared his throat and looked towards Wrangler.
So, your turn.
That's what it says. Yes. Burgerbeard interjected, making guttural noises, as if his testicles were being fed into a garbage disposal. Which, let's be honest, that's probably where they belong, because if this dude ever breeds, the world is over. Well, I'll just attack the Wrangler begins. Burgerbeard lets out what I can only describe as a humpback whale's mating call. Above water, that is. And so it went, with Burgerbeard unleashing the song of his people every time someone tried to talk, escalating in volume until they were sufficiently drowned out. 10 minutes after the flashpoint, he finally closes up the laptop with a dramatic harumph. He stands up to his full height, a towering 5 feet and 2 inches. And he stomps his way out the front door, slamming the heavy carved wood behind him. And then he walks back in, looking around. Dead silence ensues.
Where are my keys?
He finally asks. Your jacket, I say, pointing to his Macross jacket that he'd left.
Oh!
He retrieves it and shuffles out the door, Turtle waddling behind him and mumbling soothing reassurances, quietly closing the door this time. There is a pregnant pause as the thoroughly bamboozled table exchanges glances.
Did he just take 15 goddamn minutes to rage quit?
Slumsy murmured. I do believe that he did. I chime in, snorting in laughter. So shattered was our immersion that we spent the rest of the night just playing Citadels and Munchkin, and that, dear reader, is merely the tip of the iceberg, a mere appetizer to prepare you for the feast of fail that is going to come in the ensuing chapters of this saga. Join me next time, where I tell the second entry in this shameful story, The Rules Lawyer versus Burgerbeard's liberal interpretations. People need to write more gibberish into stories. My wife had quite a good laugh at that humpback whale call or whatever it was supposed to be. And I had fun making it. Maybe we should do r/I had a stroke or something like that. That would be fun. Chewbacca, is that you? Murloc, is that you? So there was quite a cast of characters in this story, but now we got the heavy work out of the way and we can just kind of kick back and enjoy the saga. Everybody seems to be painted relatively well, and you get at least a little bit of interaction from everybody in this story, except for Ogre, I do think. Obviously, I absolutely despise people who are like fudging their rolls. Like, is that really any fun for anybody to just sit there and win all the time, to not experience any adversity? You're just like, yeah, I rolled a 20 every time. Like, why are you even playing at that point? You know, the whole point of making rolls is because sometimes you'll fuck it up and you have to get creative. That's where the real fun of tabletop is, at least for me. But, you know, I like building gimpy characters and stuff like that when I play tabletop too. I guess some people are just power gamers.
I'm a super power gamer, you guys.
And he just wants to carry the whole group, but yeah, that's not fun for anybody. I can only imagine how awkward it was to like sit there in silence as he tries to shut down his laptop. Like if you slam the lid closed, it goes into sleep mode, right? Or is it just so old that that's not a thing? He's like so mad, but not mad enough to risk fucking up his like favorite possession. That's kind of sad too. Like, why doesn't he get a better laptop? What's going on in your life, Burgerbeard, that you need to use a laptop that's this old? I got one of those plug-in Wi-Fi adapters too for my desktop, so no shame. I was too cheap to buy a wireless card when I was building it. It's like an extra 20, 30 bucks. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna hardwire it in. But there is not always the opportunity for that. So yeah, I had to buy a little USB Wi-Fi adapter, which worked relatively well. So hopefully we'll dive a little bit more in the next story into like what makes Burgerbeard tick, what is going on in his life. I definitely wouldn't want to play tabletop with him just based on this story, but you know, I do want the best for everybody in their lives. Even if you're a disgusting beardo, there's always time to turn it around. Although I don't think that's how this saga is going to end, but I really have no idea because only 2 parts have been written. And we've only read 1 part, so let's not hesitate any longer. We'll jump into the second one and see how it goes. Burgerbeard's Misadventures in the Game Group, Part 2.
Guidelines, not actual rules. Actually, guys.
Come, you will know the second tale of Burgerbeard.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
This is the episode where we all learned a little something new about Burgerbeard as well as Turtle. Namely, that Burgerbeard's interpretation of the rules is, shall we say, exceedingly broad. Shouts out to ReddX, Fun with Failure, and Hellfreezer, my favorite Neckbeard annihilating trifecta. That is a powerful combination. Dramatis Personae. It seems that the characters we've already covered are pasted in here, so I'm just going to read the new characters if there are any. And there are. We got Mongoose, Zucka's younger brother and economist. There are 4 brothers in all, but the eldest 2 have by this point moved out. The eldest becoming a rocket scientist, no, really, and the younger of the 2 brothers becoming a computer whiz. Awesome. Mongoose is friendly, cordial, eager to debate, but not to argue, and hates communism with a burning passion. Mongoose seems like a good guy. We got Badastovich, Radio Dragon, Ninetails, Slumsy Turtle, Bluto, and the stage is the same as the last story. So the troop is ready. The stage is once again set. Tale Secondus.
Guidelines, not actual rules.
I was running my game of World of Darkness with a mixed group, meaning werewolves, vampires, and mages in the same game. For those not in the know, World of Darkness character building uses the White Wolf system, wherein you have 5 dots representing your skills, attributes, and so on. You fill out dots to represent what kind of character you are, and you have a limited number of dots to use. At character creation, you can assign them anywhere, but when you level up, it costs progressively more experience to level up a skill or attribute. All attributes are divided into 3 categories: mind, body, soul, and power, finesse, and resistance. A total of 9 in number. Well, I ain't ever played it, and I get a little lost with that description, but maybe some people will catch on. Mind, body, soul. Power is intelligence, strength, and presence. Finesse is wits, dexterity, and manipulation. Resistance is stamina, resolve, and composure. So each attribute gets 1 dot to start with by default, and each dot represents an additional 10-sided die that you can roll to determine checks. Okay, that's making more sense, I suppose. For instance, you can say you want to pursue a car in a chase. You have 3 dots in dexterity and 2 dots in the skill drive. But you also have a skill specialty for SUVs and you're driving one. So you'd roll 6 dice, and each dice that is above a 7 is a success. Rules of 1 are considered failures and can only be counteracted by a 10. By the same token, getting a 10 not only counts as a success, but as a bonus roll with that dice, unless it's used to counteract a roll of 1. So you'd have to roll your 6 dice and come up with 2 8s, a 7, a 10, a 1, and a 5, and you'd have 2 success points. Everyone got that? Yeah, kinda. It's not actually that hard to grasp, I guess. It is quite a bit of exposition, but maybe it'll be worth it. So you do got it, right? Good. So everyone is given a certain amount of dots to invest as they see fit. And because I'm a generous game master, I gave them 3 bonus dots to put anywhere they want. The starting story premise was simple. The party is composed of normal, ordinary people who, while on a terrifying bus ride, discover that they are in fact supernatural beings. Mages, werewolves, and vampires. No Prometheans, broken-ass Frankenstein monster wannabes. And then it's off for terrifying supernatural adventures. Sounds pretty cool. I strongly encouraged everyone not to take a lot of combat skills unless they had a darn good reason for it. They're supposed to be just ordinary people with extraordinary circumstances foisted upon them, and they'd need to improvise or make use of their terrifying new abilities. Bad Astovich made a plumber, blue-collar guy with a lot of mechanical knowledge, and could swing a pipe wrench or a pipe like a club. Acceptable. His character wound up becoming a werewolf. Slumsy made a cranky old man who worked as a security guard for a gated community. He noted that his character didn't know how to use a gun, but was well versed in the art of the mace can and the taser. Okay, acceptable. His character became a vampire. Dragon made a bus driver, the guy who was driving the Greyhound at the time. Clearly, this group must have passed Ramtide's camper at one point. Hey! Shouts out to Ramtide! I love that dude. He doesn't use weapons, but has 2 dots in judo, a defensive martial art, mostly to stay in shape and deal with unruly passengers. Acceptable. His character became a mage. Ninetails made an underwear model. With a penchant for charm and invested heavily in social skills. Acceptable. She became a werewolf. Mongoose's character was a small-time thief and carjacker. He worked hard to support his daughter, his wife left him, and he struggles with alcohol addiction. Acceptable and depressing. His character also became a werewolf. Radio made a pawn shop owner who had access to lots of random items and a sizable amount of hard cash. A deal maker, a negotiator, and a real mean cuss. Sadly, Pawn Stars had not yet debuted, so we didn't have a load of references there, but still acceptable. His character became a mage. Turtle made a bodybuilder. That's about it. Chose 4 dots dedicated to mental attributes, 6 to social, and 8 to physical, with strength taking up 5 of those, which meant he only had 3 dots to divide between his stamina and his dexterity. He popped 2 into dexterity and 1 into stamina. He didn't even use any of his put anywhere you want dots to boost his stamina. I struggled to reconcile how such a person could exist, let alone function. And I settled on him just being a testosterone abuser, leading to poor health in spite of being able to bench press an engine block. He also went into vivid detail about his character's reproductive organs. Are we playing Fatal? I thought this is World of Darkness.
I've got a big, foot-long cock and big old bowling balls, and I hang out in the gym all the time.
Living the dream, I suppose. Nauseating, but okay, technically acceptable. Joke's on you, Turtle. With 1 dot on your stamina, your bedroom hijinks are not going to last. He also made it clear, in no uncertain terms, that he really wanted his character to become a werewolf, and the way he said werewolf still unsettles me. His voice sounds like he's constantly holding his tongue in the back of his mouth and speaking without using his lips much. That's kind of how the Neckbeard voice is done.
But this is IRL.
I had randomly determined who becomes what, so welcome to Eternal Undeath, Count Jimula. I might have let him be a werewolf, if he asked real nice. Bluto, the eternal special guest star that he is, just sat and watched. Not the most pleasant of people to have around, but to his credit, never did he bury his face in his phone or computer. He always listened to the table and gave his full attention. And finally, there was good old Burgerbeard. I asked him what he made, and he gave his trademarked smug smile.
A Desert Storm veteran. He's got lots of gun skills, an M1 Garand, an M16, and a box of grenades. He's got lots of survival skills, and he's built like a brick shithouse.
I stared at him for a moment. Burgerbeard? The idea was that you're all normal, ordinary people without much in the way of martial skill.
So what you're saying is that traumatized veterans aren't normal people, huh? They're basically pariahs already. You're being really cruel, man.
He complained. Dude, that's not even close to what I'm saying, and you know it, is what I should have said. But so bamboozled was I, according to his plan, no doubt, that I was speechless for a moment by that accusation and imputation against my honor. All the while, Radio, who was an actual veteran, is looking like he's trying to make Burgerbeard's cholesterol-clogged arteries finally give up the ghost by sheer willpower alone. What? No. What even? No, it's not like that. I came back after my brain finally rebooted.
What's the problem, then?
He asked, crossing his arms and frumping up his face like a big, fat, bearded, unhappy toad. Okay, look, I'll allow your character, but there's no freaking way they're letting you on the bus armed to the teeth like that. He made a sound like a toilet that had too much dumped in it as it struggles to properly flush.
Fine! But I paid for it also. It's back at my RV.
Wanting to keep the peace, I compromised. Look, man, let me roll a larceny check to see if you managed to hide a pistol on your person. That I will at least allow. Knowing his usual dice-rolling hijinks, I casually stroll over to his side of the table and glance down at his dice tray as he rolls. Dang, looks like they found your pistol and confiscated it at the bus terminal, I said.
Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
About 4 times before burying his face into his laptop again. His character would become a mage, much to his delight. So the game is going along great, and 4 sessions in, they found a laboratory where the Mafia has captured about a dozen werewolves, and they're experimenting on them to learn what makes them tick. By now, Burgerbeard has managed to crash his RV and lose most of his weapons because I've had Slumsy keep an eagle eye on Burgerbeard's rolls. He did manage to steal a Glock from one of the Mafia button men watching the lab, and somehow managed to fail to intimidate a terrified biologist into explaining what was happening. Ninetail's character sauntered up to him and performed a perfect meet-cute routine. Well, hello. I don't suppose a nice boy like you would be willing to help us out, she purred. The lab coat bedecked man calmed and started to explain what was going on. Not to be outdone
By an icky girl.
Burgerbeard chose this time to attempt to kneecap the biologist.
I kneecap him,
Burgerbeard exclaims, rolling a huge handful of dice.
9 successes.
He swipes up the dice before anyone can get a look, of course. The table stares at Burgerbeard in smoldering silence. Excuse me? Ninetails yips. Dragon is just shaking his head with a frown.
What the actual fuck?
Badastovich snips. Mongoose stands up and heads over to him. Listen, dude, I don't think it's a good idea to do that right now. We've already had him talking, so there's really no need to hurt him. Turtle, seeing his beloved master being accosted, peels himself off my easy chair and shuffles up to Mongoose, getting in his personal space, his halitosis washing out in fetid waves as he speaks.
Don't talk to him like that.
He wheezes and then shuffles back to his seat. Mongoose, thoroughly disturbed, quietly returns to his seat, just shaking his head in astonishment.
I already rolled, so I'm not undoing it.
Burgerbeard grumbled. Well, alright, but as I've said before, all rolls need to be accounted for. I came back at him.
But that's not fair. I aced it,
he complained. Guess you shouldn't have fucking grabbed them all up before anyone could fucking see him then, huh? Radio sneered. Look, I'll give you a couple of bonus dice, I said, trying to olive branch this fucking nonsense.
Fine,
Burgerbeard huffed and scooped up 13 10-sided dice. I say there, Burgerbeard, how do you have so many dice? I asked. Badastovich frowned, snatching up his own World of Darkness book, looking for any possible reason why Burgerbeard could roll so many dice.
I made it for combat. Pure and simple,
Burgerbeard counters, giving that big, stupid, punchably smug smirk. I read the spell he'd earlier cast on himself to make his aim better. That's 1 die. His skill is 3, his dex is 3. That's 7 dice in total that he could roll. He was trying to roll almost twice that many. Hold up, your spell doesn't boost your stats that much, I exclaimed, becoming thoroughly fed up at this point. His frustration grows with his nonsense finally being called out again, so he hoists aloft his mage rulebook, waving it around and violently pointing at it.
These are just guidelines!
He bellows like the asthmatic bull of the North Woods. I mean, he's not wrong, but what the GM says is actually what goes, not what the players would like. A new hush falls over the table, and they just stare in disbelief. He was cheating. I knew he was cheating. Because I'm a nicer person than I should have been, I smiled magnanimously. Hey, you know, everyone makes mistakes. You just hand your sheet over to Badastovich and he'll clean it up for you. He'll even let you use his spell flashcard so you don't have to look them all up every time, I said, with a benevolent smile that barely concealed my contempt. Realizing that his pride wouldn't survive another prolonged rage quit, and that he had been caught red-handed, he meekly handed over his sheet to Badastovich, who would begin correcting the sheet, occasionally bursting into mocking laughter of disbelief at Burgerbeard's mistakes. When he finally gets his sheet back, I smile. Now, what do you want to do? I calmly ask. Burgerbeard, so mad that he could explode in a shower of frustration and wounded pride, definitely wants to hurt something now.
I'm still gonna kneecap this motherfucker,
he bellows. Ninetails is obviously very unhappy about her efforts being undone, but she's not done being pissed at Burgerbeard tonight. No siree. Now, roll your 7 dice, I tell him. Dramatic failure. He wound up shooting Ninetails in the chest, Jesus, and alerted the whole building. The group frantically fought their way through the dozen Mafia button men, and they later had a whale of a time explaining to their underground doctor friend where Ninetails got her nearly fatal gunshot wound. I didn't know it at the time, but would later learn that the players, with the exception of Turtle of course, had begun to conspire against Burgerbeard, and would indeed arrange for his demise in the near future. But that, dear readers, is a tale for another day. Stay tuned, all, for the next entry in this shameful saga is one that I dub the Burgerbeard Fanime Disasters. Thank you all for reading, and remember to speak softly, but carry a big stick. For you never know when a neckbeard shall emerge from their nest of Dorito crumbs, Pocky wrappers, and Dakimakara pillows to wreak havoc upon the world. And accidentally shoot their allies in the fucking chest. Oh, Burgerbeard, way to show your true colors once again. He tries to think that he's all clever during character creation. The GM's like, don't make a character for combat. And he's like, I actually made a veteran. Okay. You don't get any weapons, though. And he's like, no way. But finally, he does manage to get his hands on a weapon. And what is the first thing that he does with it? Of course, tries to shoot somebody. As any smooth brain would, I do suppose. Like everything's going along swimmingly and you just kind of got to throw a monkey wrench into the middle of it. Ugh, what an infuriating person to play with. I'm also slightly amused at Turtle, you know, making sure to illustrate just how big his character's dick is and all that stuff. Bro, we're not playing Fatal. And if you don't know about Fatal and just how deep it gets, there's currently a reading on my Facebook page that's also accessible through my Discord. If you should like to join me there, I'll link you right to it. I'm also slowly working on a Fatal episode that I sat down and had Ramtide GM with a couple of patrons, but it is beefy. It's like 4 hours of character creation and like 40 minutes of just beating the shit out of each other. And somehow I've got to trim this down into something watchable, which is sort of an impossibility, but we'll do our best. I'm super glad that Burgerbeard did like kind of give in and let people fix his character sheet. But yeah, you got to police this guy so heavy that he's really not worth having in the group. I don't know how he's made it this far. I would play with him once or twice and be like, look, if you can't fix it, then you're out. And that's basically it. We're all here to have fun, and you fucking cheesing your way through the game isn't fun for anybody else. Although when he actually is forced to roll properly, he ends up shooting his teammates in the chest. So I don't know. There's just no winning with this guy. It's amazing. But you guys want to know how you can join the winning team? Is by liking, commenting, and or subscribing on this video. Maybe sharing it around. I worked pretty hard on that there musical interlude, so I do hope that you enjoyed it, and it is a good way to get people into ReddX, you know. Kind of fun, kind of irreverent. I think it captures me pretty good. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but it do. We've also got some links in the description, of course, that giant link swarm. Not everything was featured on the splash page at the beginning. We've got my wife's channel. Go check out her gardening blog. Please, please, please. It's super awesome. You can feel her passion through it. And also, check out my personal subreddit if you want to share a story with me directly. You're also seeing some names on the screen right now. Those are my gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful, generous patrons. And as always, I would like to thank them all, but specifically ZeroMMX, Lady Nix, Robert Waits, Pope Squid, Rebecca H, Cider Drinker, Tato Fair, The Last Shinobi, Mark 211, Michael Undead, Aaron W, Mitch, John Hero, Josh K, Candy Sora, DigiNZ, Fire Drake, Little Lone Wolf, Lone Island, Shara, Marvawana, Miss Monday, and Katie Min. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. This is just such a huge, massive help, especially when videos do get demonetized, which does happen from time to time. So thank you guys so much for helping me out. If anybody else can support monetarily, obviously that is massively appreciated. But if you can't right now, don't sweat it too hard, bro. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me today, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. Because honestly, the views is how my beard is buttered. You know what I'm saying? In order to come on back, you'll need to keep yourself safe out there. Don't forget to wash your hands all the time. Super important, not a joke. Also, take some time out to do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe watching a little more ReddX. Hey, hey! Never a bad plan. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. Until the next time, bye-bye.